Thanks for sitting down with me to recap the season.
Bet.
I do want to talk about our ODC, our original Dream Crusher, Ellis. In fact, I would like to tell the story of how the team got its name.
Terrific.
So I popped out there trying to get the girls riled up. You're trying to stop them. You're trying to crush their dream of scoring a goal on you. That's what you're trying to do. And then later that practice in the huddle, you ask something of Ellis, and she vehemently says, "I'm crushing their dreams. I'm a dream crusher."
We had no idea that Desi had primarily, almost exclusively played defense before. We just saw her skills and said, she's got to be a midfielder. She's got to be an offensive player for us because of her strength and her speed and her skill. And it was great to see her early on score quite a few goals, and to hear that feedback from her family
Yeah.
that she had primarily played defense, and to see her just thrive on the offensive end was pretty awesome.
Right. Yeah, and another one of the presentation girls that was so fun to have on the team was Holland. She talked about being able to, with high conviction, put her literally anywhere on the field, in any position. That includes goalkeeping, as we found out, anywhere. And you can just count on her to hold her own anywhere she goes, with a smile on her face. She never complained.
But seeing Katarina early on just embrace our coaching style and our methodology, and then really take the defensive position and just be a lockdown defender the whole year was pretty awesome. That was really rewarding for sure.
For sure. Magdalena comes in, I think, a little late in the start of the season. So we go ahead and play her high because she's so good on the ball. And it took her finally coming to us and saying, "I really like to play defense," which nobody ever asks to play defense, except for Katarina and Morgan. And so she turns out to be our anchor.
Jossie. I mean, Jocelyn was such a surprise, and I would call her one of our most creative and inventive players. But Jossie was always doing pullbacks and 360 pivots the other way,
Yeah.
and hesitating on the ball and then attacking.
So let's talk about the Rin highlight that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Her big game tying goal.
I think it was late in the game, maybe with just a few minutes left, and if I'm not mistaken, Sierra sends a pass from the right side in the final third. She sends it from the right all the way across the box. Rin's in perfect position, right, and receives it with the inside of her left foot.
Yes.
And then a perfect strike to the net to tie it up.
Yeah.
Labar Emmy, maybe the sweetest, happiest girl that anyone has ever known. Seeing her intensity on the field and her pace and intensity stood out. I can remember at least a handful of plays where she would receive the ball at midfield and just go on the attack and go through one or two defenders, and not necessarily around, but through them,
yes,
which was outstanding and created so much opportunity for us in the final third. Someone that I had a lot of fun coaching this year was Jaya, and to see her be as coachable as she was and take a concept that we would give her and immediately turn it into results. I don't think we had anybody do as many accurate one-touch passes as Jaya. Jaya somehow mastered receiving that from the fullback and then one-touching it to a diagonal pass that happens to be with perfect touch.
Yeah. Well, once you get the ball at Sierra's feet, There's no stopping. That's why she's the Energizer Bunny, because of her endurance, but she just does not stop. And she doesn't hesitate. Defenders come at her and she just zips through them and around them. I love when she's in the middle of the field with the ball at her feet. It's fun to watch.
Yep.
We have to talk about Lily Drone. She was the most transformative player this season, and she went from being seemingly timid and unsure of herself to midway through the season, something shifted inside of her, and literally in the manner of from one game to the next, she came out displaying body language of a confident soccer player, a fearless soccer player, and that carried through the season. And we asked a lot of them on the field in terms of having a voice and communicating with one another. And the player that jumps into my head that stepped into that with so much conviction was Addie, and so positive. She would, when the girls' morale was down, she on the sidelines, she'd rally the team together with positivity. Leadership aside, in fact, there was a game where I had to put her in the goal. She was terrified. They fire a rocket, and she makes the most amazing save. For somebody who didn't want to be there, has said to me in the past, I don't want you to put me in goal, to rise up to the occasion and pull off a save like that was really amazing.
I've got to talk about your daughter. I've got to talk about Morgan. One of our strongest defenders, clearly. That was sort of assumed. I think everybody knew that Morgan would carry forth and be one of our strong defenders, which she was. Obviously, one of the stand-up moments for us and for me was her free kick. And I called her up and I said, let's just keep it simple. I said, just score a goal. And she says, okay. Took about a 40-yard run, paused, kind of like Ronaldo style, you know, and then reset, and then puts it in the net. Just puts a nice laser shot or to the bottom left, scores the goal, does that she's at. So what a fun player coach.
Yes. And now I would like to talk about your daughter, Maya, who primarily plays the most emotionally taxing positions on the field. And Maya puts on a brave face and steps into that goal every game and owns it. But the saves that girl makes and has made throughout the season are amazing. She really has come through as a goalkeeper. And there was a game that I remember, she comes out the second half, and every single thing that we had talked about, she did. And she was the most amazing goalkeeper that game. It was epic.
And what's something that the team does that drives Kelly bonkers?
Oh.
And then
I'll tell you one that really stands out. Kelly does a great job. I mean, Kelly, I think, owned this 100% this year. Mm-hmm. At the players sitting on the bench, she would create assignments for them. You're going to go in at this position. These are my expectations for you. You're going to go in for this individual teammate. 1 to 3 minutes later, and any one of the girls turns and goes, wait, who am I going in for? It drives her crazy.
Crazy. It drives me absolutely crazy.
Makes her head explode.
It's probably one of two things. Tardiness. We say show up at a certain time. And there's been games, literally, people roll in as we're taking the field, and that's insane.
Which of you is more strict?
It's like a freaking circus when he's not at practice.